When I was younger, I just didn't make jollof rice. I think I was scared of making a really bad version of my culture's food. Turns out what I needed to do was just to make it and keep on making it. I feel like that's the key to a lot of things. You just got to keep on doing it and eventually you will grow comfortable in that space. And so here's a recipe I wish younger Timmy could watch and give him that bit of confidence because we really needed it. Oh, that's so delicious.
All because of you, I be on the phone all night long. Oh. Don't be smart when you do it to me. Oh no, no, no.
I want to talk about two things today. Number one is actually making the jollof rice, and number two is Umami Synergy, a technique, a method that will just blow up your cooking. And before we begin, there are numerous of ways to make jollof rice. Everyone and their mum has a different way to make it. This is my way. Let's go. First, we're going to start off with the stock, and I've done a bit of cheating here and I'm using stock cubes. It's really simple, just add water and some stock cubes. I've also added some chicken powder. Bring that up to a boil, lower the heat and reduce to about half. The beauty of jollof rice and one of the key components to make it is this blend of vegetables, which A, give our jollof rice that red/orange color, and B, when seasoned correctly, leads to immense flavor. And to make it is fairly straightforward. Whilst your stock is reducing, you want to blend pots. This is peppers, onions, tomatoes, and scotch bonnet. And then on top of that, you can go in with like a few other flavors of your choice. I usually chuck in some garlic and add a sprinkling of salt as well.
Use a bigger blender, Timmy. Use a bigger blender.
Blend it all together and make sure your blender is the right size. Add that into a pan and it should go from looking something like this to looking like this. You still with me? And so whilst your stock is reducing and your blended mixture is cooking, we can wash up various items in the kitchen. I know I have a few blenders to wash up and also prepare some onions in light of our next step.
I don't cry when I chop up. Shut up. Okay, next step. We are frying it with tomato paste. Let's go.
And this is where we bring all those flavors together. And so into a pot, add a drizzle of oil, some onions, and fry for about 2 minutes or just until like soft but not fully soft. Then add in some tomato paste and stir. Cook together with the onions until you get something that looks like this. And I'm so sorry. I actually am so sorry. I forgot to press. Basically, it was recording the tomatoes and onions, and I was like, I have the shots I need. Let me press it on pause. And I just forgot to press play again, and so you missed out like this next bit. And so what you want to do, right, you have your tomatoes and onions, and so into that pot, add in your cooked blended mixture that looks like this, right, remember? And so you want to add all of that into the pot and mix and cook for like a minute, not for too long, just a minute, just let those mix together. Then, after that, add in your chicken stock, not all at once, a bit at a time, stir, a bit at a time, stir, until you end up with a consistency that looks like this. It's time to season, and there are 3 main seasonings you want in your jollof. It's bay leaf, curry powder, and thyme. Those 3 are key seasonings. Also some salt as well, but and I know some people add in chicken powder, but curry powder, bay leaf, thyme, and salt. You need all of those. Along with any other flavor additions you might want, I use garlic powder and another ingredient. And so it's time to talk about Umami Synergy. Let's go. Umami is one of the 5 basic tastes, along with sweet, salty, bitter, sour, and it was first discovered in Japan and is best translated to savoriness. So when you think savoriness, think umami. And as states in the Food Lab by J. Kenji Lopez-Alt, the umami flavor is triggered by these chemicals called glutamate. And so if you want to boost the savoriness, the umami of your dish, you need to increase the amount of glutamate in that dish. One way to do this is to use monosodium glutamate, better known as MSG. Another way is to find ingredients that are high in glutamates and add them to your food. Items like soy sauce, anchovies, fish sauce, Worcestershire sauce, Marmite, tomatoes. These are all things, and there's many more by the way, but these are all things that are high in glutamate. Let's do a quick experiment. I have 3 burgers. Burger 1 is a normal burger. Burger 2 is a burger where I've incorporated in some soy sauce. And burger 3 is a burger where I've incorporated in some soy sauce and some fish sauce. And when I tried these burgers, from best to worst, it went 3, 2, 1. The reason why burger 2 is better than burger 1 makes sense. I've increased the glutamates in the dish by adding soy sauce, an ingredient high in glutamates, and so I've increased the savoriness in that burger, making it taste better than burger 1. But why does burger 3 taste better than burger 2? It's umami synergy. To understand this, there's a new chemical we need to understand called inosynates. As states in the Food Lab, inosynates are found to work well with glutamic acid to increase the savoriness of the food. He has a really nice analogy in the book where he talks about glutamates being like Batman and inosynates being like Robin, in the sense that if you want to boost the flavor of a dish, you add your Batman, you add your main powerhouse, and then if you want to go in with that extra touch, that extra finesse, add in some inosynates, bring Robin to the table. For those of you that aren't familiar with Batman and Robin, think of it like a main singer, let's say Beyonce, and backup singers. And so in the jollof rice, when I'm thinking of umami synergy, I'm thinking of tomatoes have a lot of glutamate. What inosinate can I add? And here I'm adding cured sausage, also known as saucisson, which is a high source in inosinate. And so when I add that in, we get that umami synergy effect going on. Although I'm thinking now, if I wanted to take it further, I should have maybe added in like some soy sauce as well. Not too much, just a bit that you won't be able to taste it. Oh, that's also the thing with most umami synerginess. When you add the inosinates, it's usually to the point that you don't want to taste the inosinates. So obviously it's a bit different here because I'm using a physical ingredient that won't really dissolve. But for something like fish sauce, I don't want to add fish sauce into my jollof rice to the point that, oh, I can taste the fish sauce in here. It should be that jollof flavor is really pronounced. What's making it more pronounced? It's the fish sauce in the background, just amplifying all those other flavors. Does that kind of make sense? You don't want to add it in excess, just enough to make those flavors really pop. We're jumping back to the recipe, mix everything together, cover, and let that cook and mingle with each other on a medium-low heat for about 7 minutes. And so what I'll do is, I'll remove some sauce, add in my rice that I want to cook, re-add in the sauce that I've removed, mix that, and then go in with the excess chicken stock to get me to that level where there's a bit of liquid just above my rice, just a tiny bit above my rice, right? And that's what I'm hoping for. Put foil on top, put the lid on top, and then I lower my heat. My cooker goes up to 9, and so I lower it to like a 4 out of 9, medium low, that region, and I cook that for 20 minutes. And during this time, you're free to wash up everything else and kind of just do what you want. So back after the 20 minutes, and when you take off the lid, your rice will still probably be undercooked. And don't worry about the color, we get there eventually. Here, I add in some stew base and a bit more chicken stock. Not a lot. You don't want to add in a lot. You add in too much, mushy rice. Like, you have to be very conscious of the amount of liquid you're introducing into this, because really and truly we don't need to add in this liquid. I'm adding the stew just for flavor and color, and the chicken stock again just for a bit of flavor. And so you want to add those in, mix, cover, and lower the heat. This time I lower it to about a 3 and let that cook for about 20 minutes to 30 minutes. After those 20 to 30 minutes have passed, lift off the lid, plate, and now you have jollof rice that tastes so good. It tastes so good. Oh, this is the jollof rice I like to eat. The only thing that's bugging me is that I wish I made like an adjacent pair without the saucisson, just to see how much of a difference it made and if it even made one. But yeah, no, we'll do that another day. I'm happy with this. I hope this video was useful, and I also hope that it would have made a younger version of myself proud. Okay, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.